Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Joe Holmes. And what we're going to talk about today, besides, his experience in business and in real estate, is he's going to talk a little bit more about his business about flipping homes. Guys, remember, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, kind of all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business. And we do that by providing the tools and resources to grow the business you want to have, which in turn helps you live the life you want to live. So Joe, man, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about flipping homes. Something that, a lot of our listeners might be doing, or, especially a lot of our Mastermind members. But before we talk about all this, tell us a little bit about you, kind of your background, how you got into real estate, and, what got you to today.
So I started about 50 years ago now, and my dad got me into the business. I was in high school. He was buying properties. Back in the day, he was holding on to them, fixing them up, and putting tenants in there. And of course, I was there helping him all along. So really learning the flipping process from the ground up.
Okay.
And then after that, I ended up buying my first home when I was 20. And
Awesome.
My first investment when I was 22, which I still own today. It was a condo that I purchased with no money down. It was a divorce situation, and the lady put advertising in the paper that take over my payment, and I never heard of anything like that. And I said,
Right.
I called her. I said, what's going on? And she said, I'm getting divorced. I don't want it. And you can just take over the loan. And so sure enough, it was an FHA loan, which are all assumable. They still are today.
Mm-hmm.
And we went into the bank, and, those were the days where you actually went in and talked to the bank president.
Right.
We sat down with him and said, hey, he wants to take over my loan. And the guy goes, oh, yeah, you're 2 months behind. And I go, not a problem. I'll make that up, and let's move forward. The loan ended up staying in her name.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the way they did it. Nowadays, they actually, if you want to assume a loan, they'll put it in the new purchaser's name.
Right.
But that back then, no. And then
But they didn't have probably the qualifying process back then like they do now. Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, it was like, there's a warm body in front of me, so he's saying he wants it. I'm 2 months behind, so I don't want to fall farther than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the bank president's thinking, and and I said, no, I'll catch you up, and make sure you get paid and all this stuff. And so we did. We moved forward, and the loan was on there until my tenant paid it off. It was in the original buyer's name, and then my tenants paid it off. And then after that, since I became an instant landlord, I said, oh, okay.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
What do I do now? You know,
Right.
it's like, what the heck? So the only thing I could think of back then, because they didn't have podcasts like this, or
Right.
even people that I could call. I mean, we didn't even have cell phones back then. I'm being dated here, but I decided to get my real estate license, and
Okay.
I got my real estate license, and I've had that for in a couple of years. It'll be 50 years
Wow.
having my real estate license, and it just opened my eyes. I said, "Oh my God, my dad never told me I could do all these things with a real estate license." And then I just started buying, holding, and then got tired of that. Then I started flipping properties.
Mhm.
So if you've been in California for a while, you know that we have up and downs, dramatic up and downs.
Yep.
And I've lived through three of those. And so I'm kind of, used to that. I know when to buy properties here in California to hold on to them. But any other time, just like right now, we're at the top of the market. I just buy properties to fix and flip, and move on to the next one. And that's how I make my, portion of my money today is doing that.
Okay.
So
So you said you didn't know how to be a landlord. How did you learn to be a landlord? I mean, just getting your real estate license doesn't really help you become a landlord or know about being a landlord. How did you overcome that?
it does help you. It does help you.
okay.
There were some courses back then, property management courses and stuff.
Okay, got it.
One of the electives to get your license, I think you have to have like three of them. And so I picked property management.
Okay.
Ended up learning a lot, and oh my God, has that changed over the years? It's gone from one end of the pendulum, yeah, we're on the landlord side all the way down to we're on the tenant side now. So
Got
and
it.
you just have to learn the process, from actually experiencing it, and then moving forward and dealing with whatever the government throws out there at you.
Sure. And is this property in California? Your
Yeah,
first rental?
all my properties are in California. Yes.
Well, I'm just curious. What did you buy that first rental for?
52,000.
Oh, talk about like 100x return.
Yeah, probably 550 now.
Gee, that's incredible.
Around
That's so awesome. So, okay, so your father was in construction or in flipping homes or holding rentals, sounds like. What do you think were some of the struggles? You learned a lot growing up, right? You had some of that experience and education that I think a lot of people don't. So what were some of the struggles as you started kind of getting into it more, as you started getting into the flipping houses and just turning this into a business?
The typical everyday struggles that you would have purchasing a house. I mean, I still have those struggles today. It's just I've learned over the years how to deal with them. Something always comes up, and you just have to learn how to deal with that. I would say though, I'm a very conservative person by nature, and if I were to talk to my 20-year-old self now, I would tell myself be way less conservative than you were, because I would probably own 10 times more than I do now.
Yeah.
I'm very, very conservative. When the downturn happens, the three downturns, I didn't lose any money because I'm very conservative. The first downturn was the .com bubble.
Yeah.
I was not invested in stocks. Everything I had was in real estate. And I'd have people tell me, "Oh, Joe, you ought to diverse." I go, "Why would I diverse? I'm an expert in real estate. Why would I do that?" So .com bubble, I didn't lose any money. Everybody was crying. I didn't lose any money.
Right.
And then the last downturn, 2008, Um, I was still heavily in real estate, but
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I didn't necessarily, I was not buying stuff at the top of the market because I knew that was the top of market. And then it exploded. And then once it went down, I went crazy and started buying properties left and right.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So you started buying more and more properties. How many properties are you currently holding now?
15.
15. Okay. Are you looking to grow that?
15 buy and holds. And then me and my team of flippers, and I've been training my daughter and son-in-law for about 10 years. And I train other people that I've met on a Zoom call. I met one of them, and I train people all the time. So together we probably have about 25 flips that we're doing right now.
25 flips, and these are all in California.
All in California.
That is so awesome. Are you guys using private money, hard money? How are you guys funding your deals?
Hard money. Yeah,
Hard money. Okay.
It was mine at first, but my name's not Donald Trump. I run out of money, and so we had to move into the hard money. And hard money is something that everybody should look at, but with eyes wide open, because it is expensive. And most of our projects we're in and out in 3 months.
Nice.
If we're not, then there's a problem. There's a problem that's come up.
Right.
So we try to make it 3 months. We do flip condos as well. They're 30 days. If a contractor can get in there and out in 30 days, then we're looking for another contractor.
Yeah. When you hit these market cycles and all that, how did you pivot? Like, what was were there any mindset tools you used to kind of stay focused?
So I'll go back to 2008, which probably was the biggest one. 2008, the world blew apart. The condo that I originally purchased actually went back down to 100,000. It's 500,000, 550 now, but it went back down in 2008 to 100,000. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm still, positive cash flow.
Right.
My renters are paying, a positive cash flow, so I'm okay with it. But 2008, I think me and I'm a real estate broker as well. Everybody's looking around like, oh God, like what do we do now? How do we sell properties? And I had experience because when I bought that original condo, Jimmy Carter was in office. And if you remember Jimmy Carter, 18% interest rates.
Yep.
You couldn't sell a house. The only way to sell a house was with creative
finance. Yeah.
Okay. And so now 2008, I said, okay, well, what does that look like? Oh, it's called short sales. So I taught myself how to do short sales. I became an expert on short sales. I went door knocking in neighborhoods, and I was literally probably getting 4 to 5 listings a week, just door knocking.
Wow.
And I was handling those, and I love those because I would have investors reaching out to me and say, Joe, I'd like to buy this. I see that you have it listed for 125. I'll pay cash. And I would accept those over a buyer who's looking to move in, because if a buyer's looking to move in, it was taking me anywhere between 4 to 6 months to put the deal together because the banks were like super slow.
Right.
And that buyer would literally, they go away and find somebody else. And then I call them 4 or 6 months later. Hey, I'm ready. Or not me, but the bank's ready to accept your offer. Oh, no, we already bought something else. Okay. Right. So I did not have that problem with investors. The investors were there. They were there. They kept saying, yeah, I'll take that and anything else you have. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's how I pivoted that business. And, and like I said, I was doing 4 or 5 listings a weekend. And then selling those until it got to the point where the banks got more sophisticated. They started putting procedures. They started sending out appraisers. They started doing a bunch of things where, they got more steps. They did not, like the first offer I sent on one of my short sales, it was literally like 100,000, and the bank was literally thanking me.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Like, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, it's like no counter, no nothing.
Right.
You know, like,
Right.
yeah, can we get this done like right away? I go, yeah, let's get it done.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And it went
awesome.
from there to, yeah, we're going to send an appraiser out to look at the property. You know, they're really sophisticated nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. So what does your team and your business look like today?
So about 4 years ago, I was asked to run a brokerage, and I do that now. I started with about 30 agents. I'm up to 350 agents.
Awesome.
It's a discount brokerage. It's called Pelago. If you want to look it up, pelago.com. It's very good to the real estate agents. And I think a lot of them join because we are investor focused.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've been doing this for almost 50 years, you know, I can train them how to work with investors, put in offers for investors, things like that.
That's awesome.
I think that's why I've grown so much. So that's one part of my business. The other part is still flipping and teaching others how to flip properties as well. I don't charge for teaching people how to flip properties. I never have. I don't like go into that business model.
Do you partner? Do you partner with them? Like partner with them?
I do
Yeah.
partner with them. Yes, I partner with them, and then I hope that they're adult enough to realize that, you know, if they find a flip that they can't do, they're going to wholesale it to me, or if they find a family friend or something, they're going to refer me to them, and then I'll make a commission that way. So it comes back. It's circles around. I just don't. I don't know if I could sleep with myself at night charging somebody $25,000.
Yeah.
Giving them a flip course, saying here, and then most of my flipping stuff I do locally, so it's more hands-on.
Yeah.
You know, come to the office. This is what I do. Let's go out, look at properties. This is how I evaluate properties, things like that. I don't do flipping. Like if somebody wanted to flip something in New York, I
don't do
help.
virtual stuff. Yeah.
I didn't do virtual stuff at all.
Well, and I think that is invaluable, you know, right when you're learning, and then you have someone who's experienced to be able to go and partner with them and work with them. And, you know, yeah, you might give up some commission or some, you know, of your assignment or profit now, but how much more is it going to benefit you in the long run? So that's what I love about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So, let's talk about flipping, right? And I know a big thing, you know, when people go out and evaluate and find properties is, you know, kind of what's that formula that you use, right? Some people use 70% minus repairs as their offer. So how do you formulate your offers? Like, what formula do you use?
So I tell you the two hardest things there are in flipping. One is acquisition. Here in California is acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
And two is a contractor. If you don't have a good contractor, you're not going to have a successful flip.
Right.
So as far as acquisition, it depends. Like Orange County, we use 80% because it's very competitive. Riverside, where I think you're at, we're at 70%. We go out to San Bernardino, we're down to 60%.
Right.
And now that's 60, 70, and 80 total. We don't subtract rehab costs from that. That's included in there.
Oh, okay.
So we're pretty competitive on our offers.
Right.
And we're looking at the end of the day to make at least 10% of the after repair value. So whatever we sell it for, if we make 10%, we're happy at the end of the day.
Okay.
And then obviously we're brokers, so we don't need to pay a commission on our side. So we save money there. The new NAR rule that came out last year really didn't change much of anything for us. And I think people don't realize that. Yes, it's negotiable, but it was always negotiable.
It's always exactly.
If I wanted to say, no, I don't want to pay you 3%, then I would have never offered 3%.
Right. Right.
We
It's not
don't.
like a set in stone requirement that you pay them
No,
3%. No.
no, now in the purchase contract, you put down there, the buyer's agent puts down there how much they want,
Mm.
and then we just negotiate back and forth. It's like, okay, we'll pay you this. And it really, honestly, it all depends on the price. If you're coming in at what our asking prices are over, you're going to be rewarded for that, because
Sure.
our bottom line is going to be pretty much the same. If you come in with a lower offer, 10 or 20, $30,000 lower, then yeah, we're gonna counter your commission,
Right.
you know,
Right.
or counter the price back, whichever.
One of the two. What do you see some other people, mistakes people are making when they're starting to flip houses, right? Maybe if they're newbies or something
Yeah,
like that. Like, what are some of the main mistakes?
the biggest first time flipper mistake is um, thinking that you own the property, but thinking that you're going to live in it. So, Joe, I want to put gold fixtures in the bathrooms and in the kitchen, and because that's what I would want. Okay.
Right.
No, flipping is pretty much cookie cutter. You put in the stuff that the masses are going to like at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And most of it is just literally just brand new stuff. Okay.
Right.
I'm going to put in a faucet that, I'm going to buy, depending on the value of the property I'm flipping, but I'm going to end up buying at Home Depot for 50, $60. I'm not going to spend $400 or $500 for a faucet.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest mistake is first time flippers make, is they're trying to flip it like they would want to flip it. And that's hard I tell them that, but it's hard at the end of the day, because they're getting input from, other people in their lives, especially their significant others. Gosh, I would never live in a place like that unless you had this, and this. And it's like, I'm not flipping for you to live there. That's a totally different animal.
Right.
I'm flipping for the masses so that it looks good, it's clean, and people like it and move on. Which is another
I call
thing.
I call it nowadays the agreeable grays. Everybody likes the agreeable grays.
Yeah. We're actually moving away from grays. We're more towards the color that you have in your house.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually gold fixtures were out forever, but they're coming actually back in.
Really?
So, yeah. We're using gold fixtures on our higher end flips, and we try not to flip properties over 1.4.
Okay. Why that number?
That number is pretty much in the middle cookie cutter, family of 2 or 3. We want a house. This is going to be our house for a long time. You get into that price range, you start getting into 2 million, especially and up.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are rolling around with $2 million that they want to, buy a house? And then they also get extremely picky. You have people walking in the door, Joe, like, I thought I saw that tile at Home Depot. Did you use Home Depot tile?
Right.
Oh my God. So I don't want to hear that. I just, hey, this is gorgeous. I love it.
Yep.
We see our family in here. Let's put an offer in and move on.
Love
So
it.
we try to say, I would say that the stuff we're buying, because we are buying in Riverside and San Bernardino, anywhere between 400 to 800, 900 is our target range.
Got it. Okay, cool. And I wanted to ask you this earlier because you had mentioned that like you help agents or teach agents about working with investors and whatnot. Why, in your opinion, do you think not many realtors or agents know how to work with investors?
Great question. I think honestly that goes to anything and everything real estate related. People think that you get your real estate license and then that's it. You're going to be a millionaire the next day. And you're far from that. Far from that. I'm literally training an agent right now in my office how to work with investors. And she keeps sending me these properties like, here, Joe, take a look at this one. And I go, no, that's not how you work with an investor. You need to tell me, number one, what is the after repair value? What do you think the rehab is going to be? And at what price am I going to buy this?
Right.
Okay. You need to be able to talk through all that stuff to an investor. Why, as an investor, am I going to get put on a drip system like they teach you to do at regular brokerages?
Mm-hmm.
Here, Joe, here's 10 properties that you said you were looking for 800,000 or less. Well, what good does that do me? Now I have to do all the homework
Now I got to
myself.
do the due diligence and all that. Yeah.
It's like, no, I want you to actually go out to the property, make sure it's good, do the numbers, and justify why I should buy this property at the price you're thinking at.
Yep. Exactly.
And can I get it at that price? That's to me, that's a more experienced agent that I can work with.
Do you teach your agents to talk to their home sellers about creative type of financing stuff? You know, like if they're, hey, this deal might be, I can maybe get you more if you're willing to take XYZ over time, whatever, right? The whole sub-2 pitch or something like that.
Yeah. So if we're like reaching out to sellers directly through cold calling
or even if they reach out to you and they go on a listing appointment, I mean, do they ever talk about any of that type of stuff? Do you teach them those type of buy strategies?
I do teach them all that, and then I think the biggest one is like right now. Let's take for example me. I've been in my property for 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it for 160. It's worth 1.4. If I'm coming out to a listing for me, what are the things that the listing agent should be telling me? One, Joe, if you sell this property, guess what? You have to pay what's called capital gains. Minus the 500 because I'm married, so 250 per person.
Right.
So which means that I'm going to have to pay capital gains like about 600,000. Well, Mr. Listing Agent, what does that look like? Oh, well, yeah, it depends on your tax bracket. If you're in a 30% tax bracket, 600,000, you have to pay Uncle Sam 180,000.
Yeah.
Do you want to pay Uncle Sam 180,000? Well, no, they're not going to bring that up because they're afraid to lose the listing.
Exactly.
Plus, I teach them, I said, don't be afraid, because I would be more afraid that this guy's going to call you back at the end of the day and say, Joe, can you give me 180,000? Because you didn't tell me about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's like, so yes, I do teach them to talk about all that stuff. I get calls from children. My mom, let's say me, my mom and dad are in the situation, and I tell them, I don't mean to be morbid, but you need to have your mom or dad pass away first, because once they pass away, there's a step up in basis.
Right.
So whatever the house is valued, in my case 1.4, that's what they can sell it for and pay 0 in taxes. So please wait. I know you're going to put them in, home or whatever. Hopefully there's some equity there. I'm sure there is. Go get a loan to pay for their care until they pass away. And you have to be smart about these things, and a lot of agents don't know that. They're not smart. They don't tell them. As far as we're talking about FHA and VA loans, I have a website that I have a vendor that provided me, but the Pelago website does the same thing. It'll tell you whether there's a FHA or VA loan on a property and whether you can assume it or not. And so I'm working with a lot of buyers right now who are assuming FHA and VA loans. And the barrier to that is now I have to teach the agent, because it's listed, I have to teach the agent that this is possible, because, I checked with my broker, and my broker says, no, that's not possible. That's actually fraudulent. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, God, here we go. So you have to teach them. They're the gatekeeper for the seller. And then I just literally just say, please have the seller call the bank and ask the bank. And then they come back and say, oh, I never knew that, Joe. Yeah. We'd be interested in that. We've been on the market for 60 days. We'll take anything.
Yeah, we're ready to get moving.
Because remember, at the end of the day, sorry, one more thing. At the end of the day, the goal of any real estate agent is to earn what? A commission.
Yeah,
that's it. So if you educate them correctly, they'll move forward.
Yeah. Man, we can go on for days about this. I could keep talking. I have so many other questions, but unfortunately we're getting out of time. And I appreciate you sharing all this, man. It truly is some great knowledge. Joe, if guys want to get in touch with you, if people want to learn from you or just, talk real estate with you, how's the best way or what's the best way for them to get in touch?
You can go on my website, Joe Holmes, JOEHOMS.com. Everything's there.
Cool.
I've even got I believe I have my training course on there as well, my book that I wrote. My contact information's there. Everything's there. I'm on Instagram, but I'm old and, it may take me a couple of days to look at it. Same thing with Facebook. I am really heavily involved in YouTube. So if you want to go to my YouTube channel, I put a lot of YouTube educational content out literally every day.
Awesome.
So that's another good place to go.
Awesome. Well, Joe, man, once again, thank you for coming on, sharing all the knowledge. Guys, if you're listening to this, hope you took some good notes. Reach out to Joe if you have any interest in talking with him and, maybe having him teach you how to flip. Thank you guys for coming. Joe, thank you again, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.